August, it would have been 6 years exactly. Then I started making my videos officially, late August. Well, I'd like to say that wisdom is a journey, not a destination. And so I live my life full of wisdom. And I would also like to say that I cannot forgive women for how they treated me and how they did me in life. There's some things I can forgive them for. That's not one of the things. However, I can forgive Maria from high school. I have one of my videos, and for what it's worth. My ex-fiance, I haven't entirely forgiven her, and it's sad that this is how it ends, but I will say if perhaps given more time, I would have been able to forgive my ex-fiance and women. But I'm on a tight schedule, and that was the intro, and now we move on. So how women should be, about 5 minutes to talk about this. So women should show more appreciation, apprehension, awareness, insight, expertise, proficiency, know-how, cognizance. I just had a conversation with T.I., target individual named Tammy. At least she claims to be one. Sometimes she's kind of harsh and it's hard to tell, but who knows. Well, she basically insisted that it didn't matter if you're a T.I., that women want someone who has their own place and their own car and is independent, what have you. Those of you who know me know that I have enough money to move out and that I have my reasons for not moving out. Also, especially when there's a lot of these people trying to get me to move out, it was very obvious to me that it wasn't in my best interest to move out. But this is about women, not me. So, they were not very humane, tender, considerate, compassionate. Women were rather profane, mundane, worldly, temporal, terrestrial, earthbound, earthly, sublunary. They were quite shallow, really. And so this contributed to me not being able to forgive them. They didn't repent. So I rebuked them, and they're not going to repent in what little time I have left on this earth. So how could I just turn around and say, well, I forgive you, it doesn't make any sense. I know they're going to keep doing it. And they're not just going to do it to me, they're going to do it to society. They're going to keep betraying God. They didn't show me that compassion. My argument is much better than hers. It was that a woman should choose a man based on him being righteous, his deed, his piety, his character, his faithfulness to God, his overstanding, his personality, who he is, not what he is. And I talked about how Babylon's system gets people to sell out, to get gold. That's what selling out is. That's what it means. You sell out for money, and money gets you these earthly, mundane women. I talked about Romans 12, how you're supposed to transform in a spiritual way and not conform. She failed to grasp my point. She kept insisting. She tried to bring up nature. I brought up how Jesus was a carpenter. And from what I can see, he lived very poorly, even with his parents, which was pretty much normal back then. You kind of live in villages. You see this with the stories in the Bible, even the stories of Esau and Jacob. You see this with the stories of people living together in tribes. Even if they had their own homes, they were right in the same village as their parents. They may as well still live with them. Some of you might compare this to moving out and living in a city, but there's a huge difference between a village and a city. On the property I live on, which is many acres, it's probably a village, typical village is probably not much bigger than this. The part where the homes are, and then you had shepherds who sleep with their flock. These aren't exactly the type of people who were rich, but they were married. They had kids. They had understanding women. We have gone backwards morally in society. Women have sold men out more and more. And this is a characteristic of Babylon's system that cannot be denied. Just like feminism. So my advice to women is to date the good man, marry the good man, reproduce with the good men. Look for the poor man with heart, the simple man, the simple and good man. Do not look for the rich man. Do not look for what a man can provide for you. Be humble. You will be saved with childbearing and raising a child with a very simple man, a man who's likely to go to heaven, not a man who has a tougher time going to the heaven than a camel has going through the eye of a needle. Not a rich man. Jesus said, sell everything you have and follow me. Don't be the type of woman who would not have dated Jesus or the poor fisherman he chose as disciples, or the man he said to sell your everything you have and follow me. The rich man, he said that to. If that man had done it and you were his wife, you probably would have left him. Most of you women who are watch this, do not be like that. That is my advice to you. Be spiritual. Do not be secular. Be holy. Let the Spirit of God flow through you. The Spirit of God will not flow through you if you are not living a holy life and following the guidance of Jesus. What is so disturbing to me is all these things I've brought up are very famous, very well known. They're prevalent ideas. They're dominant ideas, even all throughout the Bible. But still, we have these unmerciful, unforgiving, inhumane women who refuse. They absolutely refuse to do the right thing. And so, for those of you who would blame me for why women didn't choose a good man, when many women are poor themselves, for those of you who would turn around and say, well, you didn't do this and this. First of all, I'd like to point out that most of the people who didn't match me on, say, the dating sites and Tinder, it doesn't say anywhere whether I live at home or not. Some of my pictures, I'm in a car, so they knew I had a car. They didn't know whether I lived at home. They knew I had a degree. So not only were they worldly, but they were very demanding. They were very much gold diggers, to a T. And yes, it was that important that I felt that this needs to be addressed. If you look at my other videos about feminism, about women, you'll understand exactly why I took so much time and care and so many passionate speeches and so much anger was shown, because women are a very important part of society. Even in a society where about 1% of Americans are Muslims, the latest poll I've seen, I think it was 2010, about 78, 79% are Christians. So you have 80% Christians and Muslims. Absolutely no excuse. One of the reasons why I will most likely convert to Islam right before I die is because Christianity has shown me the type of materialism that is unacceptable. While it is preached by people who know the Quran very well that women should look for a man for deen, character, and piety. That's what they should look for in a man. And that Muslims have saying like money is like water, it comes and goes. And so naturally when a man has a woman, he starts going out of his way to provide for her. Now he has to provide for his family. But to look for that ahead of time, instead of to look for that in your man. Once your man has deen, piety, and character, once you get with that man, now his priorities shift. Now he's going to take care of you. I'm a strong believer that a woman should be there through the tough times. Any woman who marries you when you're already successful, you cannot trust that she loves you for you. You have to automatically assume, especially in this world, in this modern day world, with modern day feminism, third wave feminism, with the modern woman, you have to automatically assume first and foremost that she's with you for what you can provide for her. And maybe she likes your personality and thinks you're attractive as well, but first and foremost, it is for what you can provide for her, what you can give for her, how you make her feel about herself, what she can tell you her friends about you. This is not how it should be. So I urge women to do the right thing, to be women of God. And I didn't want to take this much time in my last video saying these things, but they need to be said. And one last time I end this there, and then we go through my martial arts philosophy, a couple minutes, and I'm going to wrap it up. I hope women improve in the future. I hope you take every harsh lesson I've given you in my videos to heart, and you understand why I said it. The number one driving force behind it was not my hatred. It was not vengeance. It was simply to get women to do the right thing, pointing out the error in your ways, disciplining you. I'm far more advanced spiritually than pretty much every woman alive. And I'm pretty sure I could say every woman in America, for certain. Far more spiritually advanced than they are. So it was absolutely my place to point this out. And when you see the direction, the trajectory of women and their future spirituality, please, please, it's disgusting. These hive-minded group-thinking wenches are just, it is very sad. I hope you've learned from my videos, and I hope that you will tell your friends to stop being trifling, sellouts. Stop selling out good men in exchange for money and superficial respect from the blind. Anyway, so my martial arts philosophy. You'll see in a lot of my videos I focus on speed, I focus on reflexes, I focus on the things that go back, that predate Shaolin Kung Fu, that predate martial arts, the things that go back to ancient warfare. Number one, I think a lot of modern martial arts, a lot of later martial arts focus more on tricks, which is a part of fighting. Deception is part of fighting. It's not too honorable, but fighting itself is not too honorable. And when I mean deception, I mean, confusing your opponent about what you're going to do and finishing them up and stabbing them, shooting an arrow in them, whatever. So I focus most on, understanding when they're trying to deceive me, reflexes, precision, tactics, speed, and power. A lot of you do not really see me, when I'm hitting the heavy bag. There's a lot of power. Every once in a while when I'm outside and I have a lot of room to move around, there's a lot of power. So all the critiques that you'll see in the comments are people who don't understand. Power has never been an issue with me. I think that it was a hard decision to decide to finally take off my shirt in my videos. I wanted to show you that, yes, I'm a very strong man, and everything has been done for a reason. And at the end, I made sure that I was stronger than the challenger. I'm positive now that I'm stronger than him. And I was most likely stronger than him that day. He most likely worked out before it, and it threw me off about how strong he is, how strong I am. I only ate a salad, and by the time I seen him, I don't know, I think it was like noon or something, I really didn't have a good meal on me, so that affected it too. And if you look at the videos afterwards, the same day, before I got to really eat again, you can see I look a little bit skinnier than usual. And yeah, it's interesting how that works. I eat big meals, and I don't think I eat 3 meals. I think I eat more like 1 big meal and a couple snacks every day. So, some moments I'm big, especially after I work out, and I've ate and I work out, and then, when I wake up in the morning, I'm probably not so big. But I'm pretty much out of time now. I wanted to touch on these things. Everything I said was real, so help me God. I didn't duck any matches. I went on my way to tell them, hey, if you think I ducked it, make a video saying that you're ducking me, and that I will give you a time and a place, within a day, within 24 hours. It never happened. Yes, I didn't want to make this whole 15 minutes, but I'm out of time now. It's funny, my last video, I ran out of time. And I know I'm going to have more to say. I'm going to want to say more. There's going to be more things that I've learned while I'm, waiting for it all to end. But there you go.